Members of Chicago's Islamic community are thanking President Obama for the operation that killed Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, Ahmed Rehab is the executive director of the Chicago chapter of the Council on American-Islamic Relations. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So, first of all, just your initial reaction to this news.
You know, I think like all Americans, the American Muslim community was relieved. There's a sense of vindication. This has been a long time coming, so it was good news.
So when you hear about this, I mean, it has to mean a lot to you because you've been trying to distinguish yourselves and educate people that hey, this does not represent us in any way, shape, or form, what he's been up to all the time.
And I really appreciate President Obama's statement that bin Laden is not a Muslim leader. He does not represent the Islamic community, and truly that is the case. Now, for us as American Muslims, he's an enemy of our country, the United States, but he's also the single most damaging individual to the image of our faith, to Islam itself. So there's a double-edged problem with bin Laden for American Muslims.
Do you have any concerns that you might see an uptick in like vandalism or even violence? I just saw a story out of Maine where a Muslim community center there was vandalized. People saying go home and Islam today, Islam tomorrow. I mean, do you feel like this will bring out feelings again where people who don't get it go out and do stupid things?
Unfortunately, we see cases of that, especially every time there's negative coverage of a Muslim personality like bin Laden on the mainstream news. You see somebody reacting as if we're at war with Islam. But President Obama said it best. We're not at war with Islam, and I can tell you Islam is not at war with the United States. And so individuals like that, unfortunately, are caving into a campaign of misinformation, and it's my job to try to talk them out of that, to have a conversation about who we truly are as American Muslims.
I mean, how would you rate your progress in educating folks, as so many Americans still don't quite understand? Do you feel like you're making some progress?
I think we are. I think the average American understands that this is a pluralistic society. We have people of all faiths. They respect Islam as a global faith. Unfortunately, there are those who invest their time and money in a campaign of misinformation to try to politicize the American Muslim community as the other, as a fifth column. And, some people who are gullible, who don't know much about the faith, fall into that. But, again, many others don't. And it's our role to talk to people and have a conversation so that we make sure they understand who we are and what our faith is about. But the other side has to also take steps towards us.
Sure. One of the things we've been talking about this morning in general is should the U.S. release these photos of Osama bin Laden, of his corpse, of the dead Al-Qaeda leader. Do you have thoughts on that?
Well, a lot of people are going to want evidence. I mean, the only thing that we have is the president's word, which for a lot of people may not be enough. People want to see evidence that bin Laden indeed was captured. Let's remember that President Bush assured us that there was evidence that there was, weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, only for him and the CIA to come back and say we made a mistake. So there needs to be evidence provided. I think that's a reasonable request. I also think that the president and the CIA probably have the evidence that they can provide to those who are...
They do. Yeah. They just don't, they're talking about whether or not it's the prudent thing to actually put it out there and how to put it out there.
I think they should.
Okay.
Yeah.